questions at questions@chalmerswellness.com, because if I don't start going through these, we're never gonna get through them all. I got the question the other day, what does my workout look like? And if I would start filming some of it, I will. Somebody asked specifically, how much sets and reps and stuff like that. I know I throw a lot of disruption into for the world with this whole calories in, calories out is trash, but it is. The thing around how many sets and reps and stuff like that, that doesn't matter. What matters is if you damage the tissue and that you are exhausted afterwards. So give you an example. The way I do chest, and I will film this sooner or later, so I'll use 85-pound dumbbells, so I don't go really heavy, but I'll go really slow. And so, 5 to 7 seconds up, 5 to 7 seconds down, and I'll do 7-ish. And I start off that way. I do the first 3 sets that way. And then I'll take the same weight and I'll rip out 17, 20, 21, quick. So I do them real slow and I can only get about 7 out. And then I'll hit, 15 to 20 something, after I do those 3 sets. I'll do that really quick, just to keep the motion going. The ones I do where I only get 7, the ones I do slow are harder than the ones I do quick. But at the end, I fail each time. So I will go until I fail. So usually on my 4th set, I'll do 20 or so, and maybe 20 or so on my 2nd set, and then I'll get 17. And then if I feel like the 17 was clean, I'll do more, because it doesn't, I'm not trying to get a number in. I'm trying to get exhaustion in. So if it takes 17 and my muscles fail, and so the weights are coming up and they start coming back down, I've got to put them back down, that's fine. That's the way I work out. The reason I don't go heavy, and because the alternative function is, all right, we'll just go heavier. If you can do something 10 times, then go up in weight and do the next one 8 times until you can do it 10 and then move up. And that's fine. But the problem you get into is that the muscle tissue grows a lot faster and gets a lot stronger faster than the ligament and the tendon does. So a lot of guys are damaging tendons, ligaments, joints, the whole deal, because they're using too much weight. If you'll slow down and go really slow, you'll exhaust the muscle just as fast or faster, which is the actual goal. Now, this workout is designed to build big, pretty muscles that are functional and you can use and stuff like that. This is not the workout I would build for World's Strongest Man competition. If you're trying to lift heavy weights as your competition, you need to lift heavy weights. Like should be, pretty obvious. However, if you're trying to play a sport, if you're trying to play football, basketball, soccer, baseball, any of those sort of things, lacrosse, you don't want to be the strongest person. You want to be the most functional person. So you want to be able to move with quickness and with speed, with agility and function. You want to have endurance in your muscles so that you can go out and play for a long time. So those workouts are designed completely differently than World's Strongest Man. If you're trying to build big, pretty muscles for a stage, that would be a little bit different as well. So the way that you work out is modified throughout, but the only kind of group that I would be like, they've got to lift real heavy, at least in their workouts. Not every single lift should be heavy. You should do some endurance stuff as well, but are the power lifters. Like I lift for heavy weight for my sport. Now, if you're one of those gym guys who wants to be the strongest guy in the gym and bench press the most and squat the most, then you're in the power lifting category. And so your exercise routine needs to be different. However, I would tell you, of the people that I've talked to, that I've worked with, I might have 1 or 2 guys who will openly be like, I want to be the strongest guy in the gym. That's my goal. All right. It's a totally different diet. It's a totally different lifting strategy than it is for the guy who's like, I want to look good. I want to feel good. I don't want my joints to hurt. I want to have a great body, but I want to be able to use it. That's a whole different type of structure. The idea that there is one way to lift and it's, low reps or high reps, or you use high reps for this and low reps for this. If you're exhausting the muscle, you're getting the goal done. So that's kind of how it is. Like, you got to come in, like, this is why I always ask people, like, the most important thing, and we'll do this tomorrow because this is really important. The most important thing that you guys can do that helps me out the most. So for future patients, this is the number one thing I want you guys to do. Figure out what your goals are. And don't tell me I want to be healthy. That's fantastic. I want you to be healthy too. What does that mean to you? Does it mean, one day doing everything I'm doing? Because it's a lot. That's fine. If you want to be the guy who spends $2 million a year doing every single thing, trying to reverse aging, cool. I'll do whatever I can do for that. If you're just like, look, I want to get a little leaner, I want to build a little bit of muscle and that sort of thing, fine. But you need to figure out what your goals are, because no one can help you. You can't help you. I can't help you. Nobody can help you until you figure out where you want to go. Like my entire executive physical is just trying to figure out where you are today. Once you figure out where you are today, from your heart, from your hormones, from your fat standpoint, from your diet, like all that, nutritional needs, parasitic infections, food sensitivities, where are you today? That gives us point one. You've got to help me develop where point two has got to be so we can design a plan to get there. Because we can't draw the line without 2 points. So that's probably the hardest thing. Goal setting is probably the most important thing you guys could do. So this leads into another question I had, that we got in. This about, developing the plan. That's how I develop all my plans. The beginning of my plans looks similar to a lot of people, but it's because if you've got a parasitic infection and yeast overgrowth and your gut's messed up and you have low testosterone and your sleep is trash, we got to do the same things to fix that base. That's the foundation. That's just the foundation. Once you get your foundation built, then we can start going after the really cool stuff. So the foundation piece looks the same, but what are your goals? Like, what do you want to be able to do? Like, is it one of those things where you hey, look, I want to see my abs. Fantastic. How much? Like, do you want to be able to flex and show off your abs, and not have a lot of abs, without? Or do you want to, every time you take your shirt off, it's lots of abs? Because that's just a percentage of body fat. Like, that's not a building thing. Like, I've actually gotten to the point now where I've had to alter my ab routine because my abs are getting too big and they look a little bit weird. So there is a point where you get to that spot. We can spot, so you can't spot remove fat. Technically you can, but you're never going to be able to see it. So you've got to start designing how you want things to look around that. If you want bigger arms, if you want bigger delts, stuff like that, that's easy. Like, the number one thing I see with delts, you guys are using way too much weight and your form is trash. So just so you know, and my delts are one of the things I really like. I just last Thursday went up in weight considerably. I went up from 13 pounds to 17 pounds in my lateral raises. And I'm proud of myself for being able to do the 17 pounds. The vast majority of the guys that I see in the gym, one, aren't really doing lateral raises, and they're not doing enough. And this is going to piss people off too. I don't like doing lateral raises with dumbbells. It's a force vector thing, especially at the beginning, because gravity pulls you down. And so there's a lot of positions where that hand's going to be, where it no longer is getting that direct force down. Now, if you have gravity pulling down on a weight stack attached to a cable, the entire arc is now resisted. And so I like them with cables. But we can get into the workout stuff later. I think that's where people are really gonna have some fun, because everybody likes to work out. There's a lot more people who are working out. But I'll film some of that stuff and just kind of show you guys kind of how it goes here in a little bit, and then we'll release it as I get it done. I won't release it for another 2-3 weeks. We've been taking lots of pictures. People have been asking about my diet and food. We've been taking lots of pictures. So like I made, oh my God, I'm still full from last night. We had burgers, we had pork loin, we had pizza and blueberry cheesecake, and we've been testing out these new foods for everybody so I can tell them about it. We found these cookies that are, woo, oh my God, they're the best. Like, it's not like, oh, I replaced this cookie with a keto cookie and the keto cookie is almost as good. These cookies are the best cookies I've ever had. These little Oreo sandwich cookies, by far the very best I've ever had. Here's the thing, they're individually sealed. So it's not just a package of cookies. Like, there's like 4 cookies in a little slot and they're sealed on top. So they're always super fresh. And so they're unbelievable. So we'll start rolling through. And as we start kind of going through and figuring all this stuff out, we'll start, telling you guys about the food and stuff like that. the pictures I took last night looked terrible. The food was great, but the pictures looked terrible, so I'm not going to post those. But we did. I made burgers and I made little holes in them, and I put egg in the little, like in the cup of the burger, and it almost worked. It was interesting, but so we'll start getting some of that stuff out. Send us more questions, and I'll do these more often. We've got a bunch more in there, and I'm gonna start doing these more than just from Fridays. But we've been having a good time seeing these questions come in. I know they're coming from a lot of my patients, so you guys just send those in, and we'll get those answered, and we'll try to go through these a little bit quicker. I will start posting some videos of working out. Give me about 2 weeks on that one. So posing practice this Saturday. So we will definitely get some videos of that and get that up. That should be interesting. But all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for your time.